Hello, and welcome to Simplified Security Bytes. I am your host, Durgesh. I started to think about the last year and the last year to that last year, about all the things that happened. Then I stopped and said to myself, it was different for many individuals, and for me, it was a mixed year. Losses, gains, and new beginnings. It is always a good idea to reflect back on what has happened, but also equally important to take new paths, try new things. And so Simplified Security Podcast was born. I'm hoping to provide my listeners with some really thought-provoking and mind-bending experience. Together, we will share ideas and explore concepts in technology and security. If you're new or have been in cybersecurity, then this podcast is for you. If you're looking for more technical and boring stuff, check out my other podcast. Link is in the show notes. So, I have 2 podcasts now. I know it sounds really cool, but it is more of a challenge and an uncomfortable feeling simply because it is something new for me. So, what was your new beginning? What is it that you want for yourself? Where do you want to go from here? Because self-improvement is really the key to seeing improvements around you, your family, and friends, and your society. Okay, enough of that inspirational stuff for now. Let us kick off and dive deep into cybersecurity. What does cybersecurity mean for you? Let me tell you something that you may or may not be aware of. You are being affected by cybersecurity right now. Your quality of life is about to change for the good or for the worse. Cybersecurity is paramount in running a successful business. It is of the utmost importance for companies to continue to produce their products and services. As an individual, it is important for you to be able to order groceries online, get paid from your employer, and save for retirement. Cybersecurity is nothing new. It is the same idea of protecting something valuable. Civilizations have employed various techniques and implemented checks and balances to most important aspects and functions of their society. It is necessary because accountability is necessary. In a few decades, every person, every organization, every manufacturing company, every government of every country will be heavily dependent on technology. Essentially, everything around you will be a computer system that will do something of value that will affect your life, your families, and your friends. And that is why cybersecurity is a very important concept. Some individuals have implemented it in their lives. Some organizations have managed to get it just right, at least as of now. And some are struggling. There is a big job market right now. If you ever thought of changing your career, it is now. So what is cybersecurity? I like to define it as a constant process of protecting computers and networks and maintaining information systems, protecting sensitive information and privacy of individuals and organizations. So where does the term cybersecurity come from? It had to do a lot with the science of governance and very little to do with computer security. The word cyber comes from the Greek word kybernetes, which means helmsman, the one who steers the ship. This was adapted into the English language and made popular in the 1940s by a mathematician named Norbert Wiener through his book on cybernetics. It is one of the most influential books of the 20th century and aims at scientific explanation of relationship between animal thought process and learning devices. Contents of the book reveal topics such as comparisons between Newtonian and Bergsonian time, feedback and oscillation, computing machines, and nervous system. It also explores concepts of information, language, and society. The original book, published in the 1948, the first edition, sells for hundreds of dollars. However, its second edition, which was released in the 1960s, is available on popular bookstores. Links are in the show notes. What is fascinating about this book is that Norbert tried to explore the relationships, the differences, and the similarities between our animal world and machines in an era when the word cyber was non-existent, and it is almost impossible to imagine today's society without the machines that enable our society to function in a manner that is both sustainable and futuristic. The sound of the word cyber has something interesting for everyone's fancy. It is being used to describe an idea which is futuristic and new. Terms like cyber war, cyber law, cyber geek, cyber sex, cyber bully, and the list will continue to grow amongst the innovators and thinkers. So what is cybersecurity? Various information security organizations have tried to define cybersecurity with the help of the CIA triad, and sometimes also referred to as the AIC triad, where the letter C stands for confidentiality, I for integrity, and A for availability. What does this mean in the context of an organization or an individual? It can be very different, and you will hear various versions of the definitions for these terms. However, it is important to understand that these three concepts form the foundation for most of the computer security systems today. What started as a simple experiment in the labs of various academic, military, and government institutions to solve everyday problems to digital age of the 1900s, where we saw information transforming our societies from being a problem solver to being a utility, and the evolution of the internet, smart devices, the use of IoT, Internet of Things, and with the current trend of increasing dependency of use of computing devices for ensuring cold chain for vaccines or improving health, production of foods, and the conveniences of advanced methods of transportation, or simply the need to fulfill the basics of human needs of being peaceful, happy, and entertained, has created a larger surface area that is more exposed to threats, which tend to attract the bad actors who exploit these vulnerabilities in these systems and in our human behaviors. The new normal is disruption, and one of our society's pursuit is to gain control over these same technologies to make them more secure, useful, and most importantly, to help continue solving problems that we are creating. In conclusion, this field of study, work, or research is for everyone. Every individual will be required to be part of the solution and become the strongest link. In the end, there is a decision to make. Are you on the right side, or part of the problem, or problem itself? Yours truly, Cybersecurity. Thank you for listening to the first episode of Security Bytes. In the future episodes, I will go deeper into these cybersecurity topics that will provide you with the right amount of knowledge to be able to navigate the advanced digital world. Topics like what is privacy? How can you ensure integrity in common processes of a society? How do you put trust back in technology? And where do you stand in your career? And where is the world headed in terms of jobs and more? I am your host, Durgesh Karya. Catch me on my next episode. Until then, be safe and think before you click.